Hello, What Culture? My name is Simon Miller, and if you have stumbled across this video by accident, I'm going to assume you were looking for some kind of Monday Night Raw review, and that's where you found this smiling face, that's where you found this bald head, and I'm going to go through the show known as Raw that WWE produces, and I'm going to give the good bits an up, and I'm going to give the bad bits a down, or in short, I watch wrestling so you don't have to. Let's up those downs. The start of Raw made absolutely no sense at all. Down. Baron Corbin was standing by a limo when Triple H and Stephanie McMahon got out of it. Now Triple H is kind of trying to be a face at the moment, so he just scarpered off. But Stephanie McMahon looked at Baron Corbin and went, "You, my friend, are a GM." Here's the thing. Her big beef was that Corbin shouldn't have put himself in a Universal Championship match just because he had a problem with Roman Reigns. So her suggestion was for him to find two tag team partners and have a six-man tag team bout against The Shield in the main event of Raw. So Stephanie's idea was exactly the same as what Baron Corbin's was. E.g., just go and have a fight with them. Smart stuff, this. Smart stuff. The Shield then made their way to their ring, and for this part at least, Roman wasn't booed at all, so that worked. This was fine, gets it up. Dean Ambrose called them workhorses, and then he passed the mic over to the big dog, and all of a sudden, the crowd started raining down the jeers. Really made me laugh that. It was like all of a sudden, everybody in the building went, "Oh, we're meant to boo Roman Reigns," and they did, like pantomime. The Universal Champ put over his and Seth Rollins' titles, which made Dean Ambrose look a little bit silly, and we're gonna get to that. Then Seth Rollins also got the mic and he was like, "Woo, yeah, the Shield, we're so great, we're the best." They then called out Baron Corbin, who did arrive at the top of the stage, and said that nobody likes the Shield, and in doing that, he sounded like a 7-year-old, and then he brought out Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. You know how the openings to Raw go. This went on for a while, but the real twist was that during it, Dolph Ziggler focused his attentions on Dean Ambrose and tried to convince him to leave the Shield and walk across that fence to the bad guys. And I like that because hopefully we are planting the seeds for a Dean Ambrose heel turn, because eventually I think that is the direction we probably want to go. It didn't go anywhere for now, and everybody tried to have a big fight, but Baron Corbin stopped them as he reminded Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler they have a tag team title match against the Revival later. No, I have absolutely no idea why either. The crazy misuse of the Raw roster then continued as Bayley decided she would accompany Finn Balor to his match against Jinder Mahal just because they're mixed match challenge buddies, and Alicia Fox decided to do the same with Jinder Mahal for the exact same reason. Also, where the hell have Finn Balor and Jinder Mahal been recently? Down. Sunil Singh was there too, and he was basically the main focal point of this match because he kept interfering outside. He saved Jinder Mahal at one point, but eventually got Bayley to belly onto the apron because he wouldn't leave good alone, and that allowed Finn Balor to surprise Jinder, and he got rolled up. Now this was okay, but what happened to all the Sasha Banks and Bayley stuff? Why is Finn Balor doing nothing of note? And what is the deal with Jinder Mahal right now, especially because after this, him and Alicia Fox sat in the ring, did the whole meditation stuff, and they beat up Sunil Singh, but then he went and joined the meditation stuff anyway. They won't reference this next week. Pointless. Which brings us to the Bellas and Natalya taking on the Riot Squad, and yes, we're just going to talk about what everybody is currently chatting around, which is of course everything that happened with Liv Morgan. And if you don't know, Brie Bella accidentally knocked her out, and there's no two ways about it, that sucks. Any injury in wrestling sucks. However, I'm not going to put any blame on Brie because accidents do happen, and it's not like she did it on purpose. The only thing I would like to reiterate, and I've done this on a few videos in my time here on the internet, is that given what wrestling is and given what WWE is, when these things happen, can we please just stop matches? Can we just stop them? Take the UFC, right? Take the MMA. If people get knocked out in the UFC, everything gets stopped. So I think we can do it with professional wrestling too. Also, if we do start jumping down the necks of every wrestler that's hurt somebody else, we're gonna have to fire the gun of blame at them all because most wrestlers have been involved in stuff like this. And again, it sucks. I'd rather never see it again, but that ain't gonna happen. As long as everybody is okay, or at least as okay as they can be, I think that's all that matters here. And yes, the Riot Squad won after Ruby Riott kicked Natalya in the face, 1, 2, 3, but that's irrelevant. No ups, no downs, just a nice, lovely message of safety for wrestlers the world over. What isn't up though is the Connor's Cure segment, because that stuff is just lovely. For some bonkers reason, a few people don't like this and don't think it should be a part of Raw, but I disagree. Seeing children that have been through a lot, and I mean a lot, have their moment in the sun or their moment in the ring, I think that's delightful. It makes me happy, it makes me smile, hence why not only does it get an up, it gets the golden up. Another up too for the further teasing between Dolph Ziggler and Dean Ambrose. Oh yeah, up. It was nothing out of the ordinary, but Dolph was telling Dean, look, think about everything you've been through. Think how the Shield had treated you when you were on the injury shelf, and think what we can do for you if you come across. And he even said, look, in our match later on, you don't got to do nothing, just give me the signal. Like he's Batman. Was good though, and a reason for you to keep on watching. What a novel concept. And then, what the hell? Get your color palette ready, because that's right, it's not only a down, it's the brown down. Why? Because Connor of the Ascension then just beat Chad Gable. No shenanigans, no hoo-ha dingies, he just hit the Dominator 1, 2, 3, and the dude from the Ascension won. I wouldn't mind this if the Ascension hadn't been treated like absolute dog for years on the main roster, but they have, and as soon as Chad Gable started getting some momentum, we took it and we flushed it down the toilet. And it won't do anything for either man, because it's not like this is some big push for Connor, and Chad Gable again, he was getting some momentum. Why did we kill that momentum? Don't ever make me do this. That's annoying. It even annoys me. It would have been far better to have given Gable the victory here, but we didn't. Therefore, it was ridiculous. Quick segment with Trips and Stephanie McMahon backstage, and it gets an up simply because Triple H had an awesome line. In reference to The Undertaker's comments last week, he simply said, as far as my soul goes, I sold that a long time ago. Also told the dead man not to focus on the fact that he wears shirts now. And that's right, dead man, because come your match in a couple of weeks, Triple H is gonna be wearing pants. Sexy pants. No, not sexy pants. Not sexy pants, just normal pants. Or you wear sexy pants. No sexy pants. Just everyone wears sexy pants. Someone give me sexy pants. The Revival versus Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre was next. This was really good stuff. Hopefully this served as a message for everybody watching backstage that we really should be doing more with Dash and Dawson, and it was just great back and forth action with a couple of near falls that were so near the crowd went absolutely crazy, thinking the titles were going to change hands. Of course they didn't change hands. It's the Revival. The Revival didn't even get an entrance. For some reason, WWE doesn't care about the Revival, and I don't know why either. They went down after the Claymore kick zigzag combo, and I do believe we have to say this too. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre are a damn good team. WWE has done a damn good job with them. Kevin Owens' show followed. Began with Elias, who put over his match with Kevin Owens as they do team to take on John Cena and Bobby Lashley, and that's going down at WWE heads to Australia and does a wrestling pay-per-view TM. Before the pair invited Lio Rush to walk down the aisle to explain his recent actions. Rush arrived and he refused to go into the ring because he's not an idiot, before Elias had another tremendous moment where he said, look, come down here because I have a booster seat for you. Honestly, whoever decided to put all these guys together, you are a genius. It's brilliant. Segued into a match between Lashley and Elias, and let's be honest, let's tell the truth, this was the low point for the program so far, mostly because the finish was really lame. Somehow Owens accidentally got pushed into Lashley, and that caused the DQ, and therefore, yeah, Bobby won via disqualification. I mean, that is shite. However, again, a few weeks ago, I didn't know how much I wanted this, and now I've got it, I damn sure want it. So that's 2 thumbs up all round. Another up, even though you could pick holes in this, because we cut to the backstage area, and Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins are just having a lovely little chat, even though they're meant to hate each other. But whatever, the point of it was simple. Now Seth Rollins is trying to get in Drew McIntyre's head and tell him, why are you teaming up with Dolph Ziggler, you fool? Look at yourself, go look at yourself in the mirror. You could be doing so much more. Then Dolph arrived and asked what they were talking about, and McIntyre kind of blew him off. He said, look, don't worry about it. And I like stuff like this. We're planting those seeds. Go watch every single ups and downs ever. I like the planting of seeds. Again, up. Nia Jax then beat Alicia Fox, who was out here for the second time this evening. It went around about 2 minutes. Ember Moon was in Nia Jax's corner, and Alexa Bliss and Mickie James were in Alicia Fox's corner. That is it. Down. Then there was more sleuthing by the Shield and friends, as now Drew McIntyre and Dean Ambrose were trying to figure out what was going on, and they played on the fact that yes, back in the day, Seth Rollins screwed over Dean Ambrose. We should remember that. It was just really fun to watch all of this, and you should do it more, WWE, and don't rush it either. Take your time, let the story play out. It's just fun. I miss fun. That's why this is it up. Which brings us to our main event of the evening, which very pleasantly was the Shield taking on Baron Corbin and the AOP. Nice. Up. If nothing else, it was just fun to see Drake Maverick absolutely shadowed by these giant men, and the AOP were allowed to no-sell some stuff here because they were in there with the Shield. It made them feel like a big deal. And of course, sitting up there on the rampway was Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre, and Dolph Ziggler. That of course meant there was a lot of nonsense. At one point those three started walking towards the ring and the Shield were like, oh no, don't do it. And then the AOP got the upper hand, and Drake Maverick kept making a nuisance of himself as well. You know how it goes, then the baby faces throw all the hurdles at them and see what they can do. Of course, what they could do is win the match after Roman Reigns hit a spear onto Baron Corbin. That's not the story here, that's not the narrative, that's not what was interesting, it was afterwards we need to talk about. Because not only did Dean Ambrose just take a little bit too long before he got into the ring to celebrate with his Shield brothers, and he glanced back at Dolph Ziggler like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. During the match at one point, Rollins was being beaten down on the outside, and Dean didn't do anything about it. Also, credit where credit is due to the finish of this thing. There was absolute mayhem. Seth Rollins was flying around the place, and then from nowhere, he did smash a curb stop onto Baron Corbin. I tell you, it was just really good to watch. So while the Shield did win and Roman got the pin, have a guess what you've done, WWE. I'm now ready to see where you're going to take this story, and I want to tune in next week. That, my friend, is the whole point. So a good Raw, I say, a good Raw. And if you disagree with me, you can let me know in the comments below. You can also like the video, share the video, and head on over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles, and follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCultureWWE, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. There's a subscribe button. Click it. My name is Simon Miller. Thank you very much for watching. And if you don't know, join me in 24 hours where, yes, we'll up those SmackDown downs. Stupid.